Virtue of wisdom of Nagarjuna. Opening parenthesis. Mahaprajnaparamitasastra. Etienne Lamotte. Composed by the Bodhisattva Nagarjuna and translated by the Tripitaka Dharma Karaya Kumarajiva of the land of Kucha. Under the later scene. Translated from the French. By Galongma Karma Migmi Chodron. Chapter XIV. A Mission of Rays. Act 1. Sutra. Then, having himself arranged the lion seat, the Bhagavat sat down cross-legged. Holding his body upright and fixing his attention, he entered into the samadhi called King of Samadhis, in which all the concentrations are included. Sastra. Question. The Buddha has a servant and numerous bodhisattvas. Why does he arrange the lion seat himself? Answer. This seat was created by the Buddha himself in accordance with the Great Assembly. This is why Ananda the Buddha's servant could not arrange it. Besides, it is the Buddha's mind that creates this seat. This is why it is said that he arranges it himself. Question. What is this Simhasana? Did the Buddha create a lion? Is a real lion present, or did he make a lion out of gold, silver, wood or stone? Besides, since the lion is not a nice animal, the Buddha does not need it, and, since there is no need for it, the lion should not be there. Answer. The lion in question is not a real lion, but, since the Buddha is a lion among men, the seat where he sits down, whether it be on a bed or on the ground, is called the lion's seat. In the same way, even today the seat where the king is enthroned is called a lion's seat, the chief who commands warriors is called a lion man, and people call the king of the land Purussimha. Just as a lion among animals is strong, fearless and can conquer all, so the Buddha triumphs over all 96 heretical systems and is called Purussimha. Question. Sitting postures are numerous. Why does the Buddha take just the cross-legged posture? Answer. 1. Among sitting postures, the cross-legged position is the calmest and the least tiring. This is the posture of those in dhyana, for, by holding the hands and feet in this way, the mind does not wander. 2. Furthermore, among the 4 bodily positions, it is the most calming. It is the posture of ecstasy, the usual position for finding the path. When King Mara sees it, he is sad and frightened. Sitting in this way is customary for the monastic. He actually sits cross-legged under a tree in the forest. The crowds who see him feel joyful and know that this monastic will certainly attain the path. Some stanzas say, when one sits cross-legged, the body is at peace, one enters into samadhi. Powerful people regard you with respect. Like the sun that lights up the continent. Slothfulness and mental disturbances are driven away, the body is light and does not know fatigue. The intellect also is alert. This peaceful posture is like the coiling up of a snake. If merely a painting of crossed legs causes King Mara to feel sad and afraid, how much more so if it is a person entered onto the path sitting peacefully and motionlessly. This is why one sits with crossed legs. 3. Furthermore, the Buddha told his disciples that they should sit this way. There are some heretics who search for the path by always standing on one foot, or by always remaining standing, or by placing their feet on their shoulders. Such tortures plunge the mind into a sea of bewilderment. These postures are not calming. This is why the Buddha recommends that his disciples sit with crossed legs holding the body upright. Why? When one keeps the body straight, it is easy to control the mind. In those whose body is straight, the mind is not idle. With right mind, the ascetic fixes his attention. When the mind wanders, he seizes it and brings it back. In order to enter into samadhi, he keeps his mind free of any distraction. It is by fixing his attention thus that the Buddha entered into the samadhirajasamadhi. What is the samadhirajasamadhi? This samadhi is foremost among all the samadhis. It takes innumerable samadhis at will as object. Just as the king, Rajan, is foremost of all men, just as the Chakravartin king is foremost among kings, just as the Buddha is foremost among all the beings of earth and heaven, so this samadhi is foremost of all samadhis. Question. By virtue of the power of the Buddha, all the samadhis practiced by him are necessarily foremost. Why do you call only the samadhiraja foremost? Answer. Although all the samadhis practiced by the Buddha are necessarily foremost by virtue of his miraculous power, nevertheless there are differences among them. They do not all have the same value. Question. In what absorption is the samadhirajasamadhi contained, and what is its nature? Abswer. A. Some claim that the samadhirajasamadhi has mastery as its nature, that it is contained in the 5 good elements and that it resides in the 4th dhyana. Why? It is in the 4th dhyana that all the Buddhas, traveling on the path of seeing the truths, attain the fruit of arhan, and that they attain buddhahood in 18 mind moments. It is in the 4th dhyana that the Buddhas abandon life, and it is in the 4th dhyana that they enter into nirvana without residue. The 8 stages, the 8 vimoksas and the 8 abhibhvayatanas are contained in the 4th dhyana. The krts niyatanas are abundant in the 4th dhyana. The 4th dhyana is free of disturbances. It is not an obstacle to the dharmas of absorption. On the contrary, in the desire realm, desire counteracts the mind of absorption. In the 1st dhyana, investigation and analysis stir up the mind. In the 2nd dhyana, it is great joy that moves it. In the 3rd dhyana, it is great pleasure that moves it. But in the 4th dhyana, there is no disturbance. Moreover, the 1st dhyana is burned up by fire, the 2nd is flooded by water, the 3rd is blown away by wind, but the 4th is free of these 3 torments. There is no in-breath or out-breath. It is pure in its equanimity and its memory. This is why the samadhirajasamadhi should be in the 4th dhyana in the same way that a precious object has its place in a treasury. Others say, who can know the nature of a samadhi of the Buddha? All the dharmas of the Buddha have a unique nature, without mark, immense, incalculable, inconceivable. If the other samadhis